You are looking for a new job, right? Or perhaps you are trying to get a promotion. Then, most likely, you are considering preparing for an interview. This is a big challenge that requires preparation. Perhaps the problem is that you don't know where to start, or you don't know how to organize yourself in the time that you have available. Maybe English is not your first language. This makes the problem even more stressful and daunting. Worry no more. I'm going to share with you a simple 5 steps process that is going to help you feel in control, confident, and ready to nail any job interview. Down in the description of the video, you will find a PDF with a presentation that contains all the steps that I'm going to talk about during this video. You can print it and use it to help you structure and organize what you have to do. Step number 1, research. Research the company and build a key concepts or keywords vocabulary glossary. You have to learn about the company's vision and mission, culture and values. And how can you do that? You are going to use resources like the company's website, LinkedIn profiles, articles or reports about the company, or any news that you can find about the company. The objective here is to make a list of key industry terms and phrases related to the company and the job. You are going to look up their meanings and practice using them in sentences. If you want to learn vocabulary, you're looking for a system to build on your vocabulary, you can check my video on how to improve your vocabulary. The link is in the description and you can see it there. Let's see how we can do that. Let's, for example, use this company, Airbus. We open the website and the first thing that we see is this statement: pioneering sustainable aerospace for a safe and united world. This is already full of keywords: pioneering, sustainable, obviously aerospace, safe and united world. This is already telling us the company's mission: pioneering, sustainable, safe, and united world. We're going to click on the menu, and here we have different sections: about us, products and services, innovation, sustainability, and safety. Again, these are super important keywords that you need to incorporate during your interview. The section we want to open first is the section that talks about us or about the company. And this is subdivided in different subsections: the strategy, what we do, or our history. I'm going to check the what we do section. We have, again, different keywords: connect, serve communities, save lives, protect, and explore. We're going to check what we do. Again, we have here the statement, the vision or the mission: we pioneer sustainable aerospace for a safe and united world. Then we have this sort of paragraph. What I like doing, and this is my recommendation, is to divide the paragraph in different sentences. We got 1 sentence here, 2 and 3 sentences, which I think is the right amount. So 3 sentences with obviously some key ideas and keywords that we want to fully understand. Within the first sentence, I'm going to highlight the keywords: forefront, innovating, pioneering, redefine the aerospace industry. Spirit is also a good keyword. So you need to learn the meaning of forefront and innovation. Okay, these 2 words are related. you want to incorporate these words during your interview. So you could say something like you want to work for a company that is at the forefront of innovation, a company that is a pioneer. Second sentence, I'm going to highlight the keywords. Second sentence, let me read it. Our products bring people closer together, helping them unite and progress. Keywords here, bring people together or bring people closer together and helping people unite and progress. And finally, we got the sentence, we strive to continually push the boundaries on what is possible to safeguard our world for future generations. The keywords here are the verb strive, push the boundaries, and safeguard our world and future generations. So you need to incorporate this verb into your vocabulary. Strive for something. And voila, that is step number one. Let's recap on the objectives of this step. The first one was for you to learn and familiarize yourself with the company's values, mission, and vision. Objective number two is about using that reading and that information to compile a key phrases, a key vocabulary glossary that you are going to obviously learn and use in sentences. Sentences that will be part of your answers during the interview. What about step number two? Step number two is about the job description and how this is aligned with your CV. First of all, you have to understand the structure of the job description, which is mainly going to be organized in two big blocks of information. Block number one is about hard skills, key responsibilities. These are skills that you acquire through experience, but also academic skills. You learn them. Block number two is about the soft skills. Soft skills are your behaviors, your attitude, your personality. Of course, you will come across new words, new key phrases, or sentences, and you need to learn them because you are gonna need them during your interview. The most important thing is that you practice and practice using these words and key phrases in sentences. Imagine that you're having the interview and they're asking you some questions, so you have to incorporate these sentences or these key phrases or vocabulary in your answers. Look at yourself in the mirror and talk to yourself, present to yourself. You can also recall yourself. That way, you'll be able to pick up on your body language, pronunciation mistakes, or even grammar mistakes that sometimes we make without realizing. Pronunciation is going to be key. And the tone of your voice, the way you intonate your sentences is very important to come across confident and natural. Try not to be flat or robotic. That is step number two. Before we move on to step number three, let's recap on the objective of step number two. Objective number one, familiarize yourself with the job description and make sure it is aligned with your CV. What are you looking for in the job description? Two main blocks of information: key responsibilities or hard skills and soft skills, also known as your behavior, your personality, your attitude. Objective number two, compile more vocabulary, more key phrases, and write sentences. You need to rehearse, you need to practice those sentences in front of the mirror or even record yourself on camera. This way, you'll pick up on pronunciation or any grammar mistakes. Let's now move on to step number three. This is where the real action comes in, preparing your answers. How are we going to do this? Well, we have to understand the different types of questions that you are going to be asked, because some of them will be about your key responsibilities and others will be about your attitude. In the description of the video, you can find a link to a website that is going to provide you with lots of questions, the most important questions that you may be asked during an interview, and of course, model answers, how you are supposed to answer them. Once you pick up the questions that you think you may be asked, all you have to do is to prepare the answers to such questions. One of the questions that you need to prepare for is the typical one: tell me about yourself. Or why do you want to work for this company? Or why do you want this job? Remember, practice is key. Practice makes masters, and you have to pay attention to your pronunciation and your intonation. You need to project your voice with confidence. And also keep an eye on your body language. In order to improve your pronunciation, you can write your answers in ChatGPT and then click on Read Out Loud. ChatGPT will read it for you so you can correct your pronunciation. Also, ChatGPT will give you the opportunity to correct any potential grammar mistakes. If you want, you can also ask ChatGPT to paraphrase your answers or give you different versions. That is step number 3. Let's recap. First, you need to decide what kind of questions or what questions you think the company may ask you. There will be 2 different types: about key responsibilities and about your attitude. Check websites that are going to help you provide the right answers to those questions. You could equally ask ChatGPT to provide the right answers. I, however, do not advise this as a first step. I'd rather you came up with the answers yourself based on what you have learned from different websites, and then try to come up with your own answers. Then you can ask ChatGPT to paraphrase or rephrase your answers just so you can correct some grammar mistakes or polish up the answers. And then ask ChatGPT to read your answers out loud for you so you can work on your pronunciation. That is step number 3. Let's now move on to the last part of the interview, which is about questions that you need to ask the interviewer. This is a very important part, and a lot of people do not get ready for this. This is not good. You must always have some good questions prepared for the interviewer. And these questions can be of different types. I'm going to show you in step number 4 what kind of questions you should be asking. Let's do it. You are reaching or getting closer to the end of the interview, and therefore it is time for you to ask questions. There are different types of questions, of course, that you can ask. Questions about the company, questions about the role. Here you have an infographic with different types of questions that you can ask. In the description of the video, I provide a website that has got 36 typical questions that you could ask during an interview. All you have to do is to go through them and choose the ones that you think are more relevant to the job you are applying for or the company you want to work for. Choose those questions and practice asking them. I also include a link to one of my videos where I speak about the way you need to communicate. In the video, I provide some top tips that you need to keep in mind in order to speak clearly and communicate effectively and professionally. For example, you shouldn't be speaking very quickly. You need to think before you speak and organize the ideas in your head. There are some other tips, so I advise you to have a look at the video and practice putting those tips into action. There is another video which talks about the 7 rules for perfect communication. This is mainly about presentation skills or public speaking skills. Remember, employers are looking for employees who can present and feel confident speaking in public. So in this video, I'll take you through the things that you need to do in order to improve your presentation skills or public speaking skills. Don't forget to check that. Well, that is step number 4. We are almost finished and it is time to have a mock interview. But before we go on to the last step, let's recap on step number 4. Asking questions. First thing that you have to do is to check what type of questions you want to ask. You can choose questions about the role, about the company, and if you want ideas, you just need to check the link that I'll share with you in the description of the video. Another thing that you should do is to check my 2 videos, one of them on top tips for perfect communication, and the second one which is about improving your presentation skills or public speaking skills, something that impact communication in a great way. The better you present, the more chances you'll have to get a good job and be successful at it. And finally, I also advise you to have conversations with native speakers if you have the opportunity and if you know anyone. For example, at work, you could book in some time and ask them to ask you questions and provide your answers and ask them for feedback. This is going to make you feel more confident and therefore speak more fluently and more professionally. The more you speak, the more confident and the more natural it will feel for your brain. Great. We've reached the last part of the process, which is the mock interview step. You have to conduct a mock interview with a mentor, a tutor, or a native English speaker. The objective is for them to give you some feedback on your language and also on your answers. It's a great idea to record the interview so you can look at it and analyze what opportunities for improvement you can find. Vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, etc. And of course, the quality of your answers. There are a couple of points that you need to consider carefully as well. The outfit. What kind of clothing are you going to wear for your interview? Is it a formal interview or informal? Here, you can see some examples of the right outfit for an interview. The last thing that you need to consider is to prepare and plan your journey. You cannot arrive late. You have to arrive early so you can settle down, familiarize yourself with the environment, and mentally prepare for the process. That's it. Those are the 5 steps that I advise you to follow in order to prepare for an interview. The more you do this, the better you'll become at it. I wish you good luck, and I'm sure that you'll be successful if you really work on your interview and your communication skills.